Hello and good morning. You're welcome to this wonderful Wednesday morning edition of the AM show right here on the Joy News channel. We'll start off with some motivation. Here is your message from the morning man. Roxanne and Ofe had never met until the day they both interviewed for the same job as sales executives for a big media company. Now, this was unusual since they had both grown up in the same city and graduated the same year from the same university. But after they both got hired that day, they became fully aware of each other. Fierce rivals, in fact. Both of them were hard workers, so it was no surprise that Roxanne became extremely angry when, after just a year, Ofe got promoted to senior sales executive, and he didn't. Now, they both had the same duties, they worked the same hours, so why would Ofe be chosen over him? Feeling cheated, he marched up to the CEO's office to complain. Now, the CEO wanted to complain why he hadn't been promoted. So he said, "Go downstairs to the market and find out if anybody is selling mangoes." Roxanne did exactly as he was told and was back in exactly 5 minutes. "Yes," he said, "we can definitely get mangoes to buy in the market downstairs." "How much can we get them for?" asked the CEO. Roxanne went back down to the market and returned with an answer. "About 5 cedis each." The CEO smiled and asked Roxanne to wait a moment. He then called for Ofe. Now, when Ofe arrived, the CEO sent him on the same errand. "Go downstairs to the market and find out if we can get mangoes to buy." Ofe went downstairs, returned in 10 minutes. There are 3 different mango sellers in the market. 2 of them sell their mangoes at 5 cedis, and the third sells hers for 4 cedis. The third lady's mangoes are a little smaller than the other two's. The first lady offers a 3 for 2 deal, and the second lady's mangoes are a little overripe, but should be okay if you plan to eat them today. That was Ofe's response. The CEO turned to Roxanne and said, "Now do you understand?" Now, I adapted this story from a Chinese corporate fable I read recently. I was eager to share it with you because of the simple truth that it illustrates. In all things, you get out what you put in. You don't get extra unless you give extra. Some people are happy to go through life doing the bare minimum, nothing more than they are required to do. Now, those people reap rewards that are just as mediocre as their efforts. In your industry, in your workplace, in your team, there are probably 1 or 2 Roxannes, aren't there? In fact, most people are like Roxanne. They do what is expected of them, no more, no less. If they are given a task or an instruction, they will do exactly what you tell them to do and no more. They'll come to work within a few minutes of opening hours and leave at closing time on the dot. Their work is adequate. Nothing exceptional ever comes from them. Therefore, nothing exceptional ever comes to them. If you're lucky, you might know at least one Ofe. Now, for an Ofe, every task is an opportunity to prove their worth. Every instruction is just a platform for them to set themselves apart from the herd. They are exceptional. And so they do everything exceptionally. They are the ones who go where others can't. Those people, they could take up any profession from street sweeper to driver's mate, and they can become millionaires. The one thing that great people have in common is that they all do more than is expected of them. That's the simple formula for success. The winner is the one willing to do more than everyone else. The one willing to go the farthest, work the hardest, stay the longest, and be the strongest. I know it must sometimes feel as if, in spite of all of your hard work, success eludes you. Well, look at it this way. To be the best at anything, you must identify the person in that field who is doing the most, and then you must do more than them. It's not easy, but it all starts in the mind. So before you leave the house this morning, take one look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself this question. Ask yourself, self, how far are you willing to go? And the answer you give yourself will determine how much you will make of yourself. My name is Kojo Yankson, and I want the best. And so I do my best. Good morning, Ghana.